Yo, what's up YouTube? Today we're going to be going over controller settings in Splitgate. If you found this video useful or helpful in any way, please hit that like button so others can watch it. And if you want to learn more about Splitgate and how to get better, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you will be notified of future videos. So first off, we have the video settings tab with FOV and colorblind mode in it. You want the FOV as high as possible because it makes it easier to see enemies on the side of your screen because it zooms out your screen. Next up, we have colorblind modes. This is really up to your preference, but what it does is it puts a filter on the game, making certain colors pop out more, so this can possibly help you find enemies a lot easier depending on what the background of the map is. There's also a slider at the bottom, which is the intensity of the filter, so at 10 it's the most intense, at 0 it's the least intense. But this is really just personal preference and it's not really game breaking. Moving on to the gameplay settings tab, we have our input device, which for obvious reasons is a controller. Now we have blood in the kill cam. You're gonna want to turn off blood because there's no real reason to see it, and this can also help improve your game performance, and so the game will run easier and you'll have more FPS. With the kill cam, the default is highlights only. I like to have mine on, as if I don't know where a player is and I die, I will be able to see where he's hiding and if he's just like portal camping or if he had a good spot. Next tab we are skipping as we are talking about mouse and keyboard today, and we're gonna go into the controller settings. In the controller settings tab, our first three options are invert look, auto sprint, and vibration. You want invert look off unless if you're just a weirdo and you normally have it on and you're just used to it. But with auto sprint, it's really up to personal preference. I know I don't like it because it can make certain mechanics like shoulder peeking a lot harder for me, but if you guys prefer it, that's fine. Now we have vibration. We want this off because if we're in a longer range fight or we're trying to just only hit headshots, when you're getting shot at, it will vibrate the controller, which in turn vibrates your hand, which can make your accuracy much worse. So sure, it can help with game sense a little, but that's why we have headphones and damage indicators, is so we know where the enemy is coming from. Now we have sensitivities. I have mine at a 7.5, sometimes I'll go down to a 7, but in general this will help you snap on to different enemies, allowing you to snap and shoot the enemy which poses the biggest threat. The acceleration sensitivity is how fast you can turn your stick when it's all the way to the side. As you can see, I have my stick all the way to the side and I'm turning very fast, but when I only turn it to the side a little bit, I then turn much slower. The zoom sensitivity I have at a 0.8 because this allows me to still make more precise movements at a range, and I still have a fast enough sensitivity to have a close range fight zoomed in. Now we have dead zones. Dead zones are mainly used to combat stick drift, as most of you know. What the inner dead zone does is it means how far you can move your stick before it starts moving or turning. What our outer dead zone does is how far you have to move your stick from the starting position to go to the max position, which can make it a lot harder to make these more precise movements. For audio settings, you want to have gameplay and master audio all the way to the max, as this will help you hear gunshots and footsteps much easier. The music volume though, you should have really low, as music doesn't play much of a part in Splitgate as a whole, it's only there in the menu screen. The announcer volume is really up to you guys. I kind of find the announcer really annoying, which is why I have mine lower, because I also have enough game sense to tell if our A, B, or C flag is being captured in Dom, or if there's only 5 minutes left in the game. Ambient volume on the other hand, you want all the way down because this is just small like bird noises and like the crowd cheering and takedown, which can distract you guys pretty easily, and it makes it harder to hear enemy footsteps. Next is the UI settings tab, and the first three options are subtitles, damage numbers, and the low ammo warning. Now with the subtitles and low ammo warning, it's a lot up to personal preference, because with the low ammo warning, people think it can be too much in the way. I like it though because it's a smaller reminder that I either need to reload right after this fight or right before I get into a fight, because I'm more focused in the center of my screen rather than the top right with all the ammo. With the subtitles, I'm not completely sure what it does. I've never really noticed anything, and it's not the tags above the guns, but it's up to you if you want it on or off. Now with the damage numbers, I have this on, and you guys also want to have this on because this will help you know if you hit a headshot or body shot, as the sounds are very similar, and you can also do some quick math to see how much damage you did to the enemy, and you can give that call out to your teammates if they're in the area and they can quickly just pop a shot and then turn back to their own fight. Now we have crosshairs, and that first option is that sprint crosshair, and you guys want to have this on, as when you run around the map, that tip is where your crosshair actually is. So if you line this up with someone's head when you're sprinting around, you can start shooting and you'll instantly start hitting them in the head. Now with the actual crosshair colors, my default crosshair is green because this actually stands out with most of the maps, because most map colors are blue, red, purple, and if you guys are in takedown, there's a lot of white and black in that. So green is a really pop out kind of color. Now we have the enemy crosshair color. I have mine red because this is mostly a personal preference, and also red is somewhat of a decent color as it also stands out from most parts of the map, but it's also pretty easy to lose the crosshair in enemy portals and even on red walls. But I still enjoy having it red because it's just what I'm used to over all these years of gaming. Now we have the actual crosshairs. With crosshairs, we want almost everything on dots, as this will take up the least amount of space on your screen and you will always know where your bullets will hit. With the railgun, the bullet size is a little bit larger, which is why I have it on angle small, because this is pretty much the exact size of the actual rail from the railgun. And so now I can actually tell if it's okay to be a little bit off center, because the external part of the railgun bullet will actually hit my enemy. Now we have the rocket launcher. The size of the rocket is also about the size of this crosshair, which is circled at 2, which makes it a lot easier to determine the blast radius of the rocket explosion. With the shotgun reticle, you want to have it on diamond because this is the exact bullet spread of the shotgun. You want to have that top point on their head so that the dot is on their center mass. This will help you hit most, if not all, pellets of the shotgun, which will either insta-kill or deal huge damage onto your enemy. However, some people, once they figure out the spread, like to switch it back to the dot. I personally would not recommend this because then you can't really shoot this shotgun at a range and know where your pellets are hitting. The SMG reticle is really up to you guys because I went through most of the reticles and none of them felt perfect, though the bullet spread of the SMG feels a lot like the Modern Warfare MP5, so that's why I picked the circle dot 2 because that's a lot tighter of a bullet spread. Now the moment you guys have all been waiting for, the controller settings, which for the most part mine is pretty similar to the default actually, with the exception that my portals, which are normally the bumpers, and my zoom and fire, which are normally the triggers, which is the default, are swaps. So my portals are now triggers and my zoom and fire are now bumpers. This is so it takes less time to shoot than it actually does with the triggers. Now if you guys don't have paddles, you can actually move your jump to R3 so that you can shoot, move, turn, and jump all at the same time. The reason you would do that is because this game involves a lot of jumping, so now you can do more things at once versus just crouching, because you never really see anyone crouch in this game. If you guys made it this far in the video, that really means so much to me. Thank you guys so much. Please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button with notifications on so that you guys will be notified of future videos and you will learn more about Splitgate and tips and tricks and other things like that. Thank you all so much. See you guys next time.